We're diving into New World in 2024 to see if it's worth jumping into today. By the end of this video, you'll know if New World is the right game for you this year. New World launched with some rough patches, from the slow grind to level up to the need for multiple sets of gear just to tackle certain content. It wasn't the smoothest experience for new players, and even veterans felt the pressure. Fast forward to 2024, and things have changed big time. The main storyline has been revamped, complete with more engaging quests and cutscenes that help move the narrative forward in a more captivating way. Gone are the days of endless fetch quests that made progression feel like a chore. Now, players can enjoy a streamlined leveling experience that feels more rewarding and less repetitive. The combat in New World stands out from many MMOs. It's not just about clicking buttons and watching animations. Here, you'll need to stay on your toes. With only 2 weapons to use at any given time and 3 abilities per weapon, the action combat system keeps you engaged by forcing you to think strategically. Timing your blocks, dodges, and abilities while managing cooldowns adds layers of depth to each fight. It's a combat system that appeals to players who enjoy fast-paced action and decision-making. While it may not have the vast ability trees of other MMOs, the simplicity actually works in its favor, keeping things focused and fast-moving. One of the biggest criticisms at launch was the lack of substantial endgame content. But over the past couple of years, New World has been steadily addressing that. The Brimstone Sands expansion in 2022 set the stage for bigger things, and 2023 followed up with even more improvements, including a revamped starter zone and new elite areas. This has given high-level players more to do and made the grind to max level feel more meaningful. In 2024, the Rise of the Angry Earth expansion has breathed new life into expeditions, making them much more accessible for players at various levels. The introduction of difficulty tiers for expeditions allows players to gradually ramp up the challenge, while a new group finder system set to launch soon will make it easier to form groups across servers. However, the downside is that the higher difficulty modes now require purchasing expansions, which may turn off some players. The seasonal content, introduced in 2023, remains a popular feature. With its Battle Pass-style rewards and seasonal quests, there's always something to work toward, whether you're a casual or hardcore player. However, seasonal events can still feel a bit repetitive, and for veteran players, the novelty may wear off after a few cycles. For players hungry for challenging content, New World has stepped up its endgame with the introduction of 10-player and 20-player raids. These larger group activities give players something to work toward once they've mastered expeditions and other PvE content. Leaderboards, introduced across different aspects of the game, push players to compete for the best scores and rewards, offering titles and costumes for top performers. But beyond the handful of harder expeditions and raids, New World's endgame content still struggles to keep players fully engaged. After you've conquered a few of the most difficult challenges, the grind for gear and leaderboard positions may feel less satisfying unless you're deeply invested in PvP or guild activities. PvP has seen some exciting updates, with influence races becoming a standout feature. These races add a layer of competition for players who enjoy battling over territory and faction dominance. Large-scale wars, outpost rush, and arenas remain core parts of the PvP experience. And for players who enjoy long-term engagement, diving into the PvP scene can keep things interesting. But to really enjoy New World's PvP content, joining a company or guild is almost essential. The game's sense of community and faction rivalry is what makes the PvP side so compelling. But without that social element, it can feel a bit flat. New World is one of the most visually stunning MMOs out there. The world is beautifully crafted, with dynamic lighting, rich textures, and an immersive atmosphere that pulls you into its environments. From the way trees sway in the wind to the sounds of footsteps echoing through the forests, everything about New World's world design feels alive and detailed. The attention to detail in sound design adds an extra layer of immersion that's hard to find in other MMOs. One of the most notable improvements in 2024 is the gear system. Gone is the gear expertise grind that frustrated so many players in the past. Now, gear progression is much more straightforward, with max level gear dropping from top level content and tougher enemies. While gear grinding still exists, it's far less painful than it used to be, and players can focus more on customizing their builds rather than hunting for endless sets of specialized gear. The crafting and gathering system in New World continues to shine. It's one of the most in-depth and rewarding systems in any MMO. And with max levels increased to 250, there's even more to do for those who love the crafting side of the game. The introduction of artifacts, powerful new items that drop from specific activities, adds an exciting dimension to character progression, allowing players to fine-tune their builds even further. So, is New World worth playing in 2024? If you're a returning player or new to the game, the improvements over the past few years have made it a much more polished and engaging experience. The revamped questing system, combat refinements, and deeper endgame content have helped address many of the issues that plagued its launch. However, the requirement to buy expansions for some of the newer content and the continued grind for gear may turn off players looking for a more casual experience. PvP remains a highlight, especially for those who enjoy faction warfare. But to get the most out of the game, joining a guild and diving into the social aspect is key. In short, New World has come a long way. And while it's not perfect, there's plenty here to keep both new and returning players engaged. Just be prepared for some grinding along the way. If you want to dive deeper into the world of Aeternum and see more about New World, check out our other videos where we explore different aspects of the game. Don't forget to subscribe for more reviews and updates on the latest MMOs.